Hello and welcome back to Le Tome. We will be continuing where we left off, which, if you recall, is after these two had a little bit of fun at the mansion, I believe. It's what it is, that the Golo is gonna fix up. He was supposed to give him the squirrel the tour, but like they decided to do some other stuff instead. And yeah, for the channel members, you got to see the censored version, which was censored in its own unique, funny way, and everyone else didn't get to see it, but like it was pretty funny. Not much happened in that episode, I believe. I do believe, I don't know if it was in that update or chapter, I guess, that the squirrel had gotten a text, or was it an email from the ex asking for the keys or something like that. So I'm assuming that the ex is gonna probably come into the picture eventually. And if Bjakery is listening to this, no, I'm not alluding to the fact that I might have already read through it, because I haven't yet, just so you know. I'm just inferring things. But yeah, that's pretty much what happened actually in the previous chapter. It was kind of short. It was especially short for the people that didn't get to see the censored version, which again was very funny. Or so I'm told. Anyways, so yeah, let's just jump into the next part, which I believe is called Passage des Hommes? Passage des Hommes? Monument Services. Paysage des Aulnes. I think that's how you say it. The house is quiet as I let myself in. My mother still hasn't returned from her meeting. I toe off my shoes, then quickly breeze upstairs. I snag a set of clean clothes, then head to the bathroom to clean up. When I catch my reflection, I laugh. My muzzle has a few distinct lines of spiked fur across it. The fuzz on my cheeks looks like it's been matted with drool as I slept. I strip quickly, then grab a washcloth from the cabinet. Back at the sink, I flick on the hot water, then strip down to just my briefs. As the water comes to steaming, I dip the washcloth in to the flow, soaking it. I give it a few rings, then hook my thumb at the waist of my underwear and hitch it down, tucking it under my balls. Using the damp cloth, I wet my crotch. After a few liberal swipes, I feel significantly less sticky. So I'm assuming this is literally right after they had shenanigans. I wet the washcloth again and then turn off the water. I squeeze water from the washcloth once more, then clean my face, using my nails to pick through the fur till I'm presentable. I would have probably washed my face first and then gone lower. Luckily, the dust down my side brushes out without requiring a second shower. A few spots require the use of a wet towel, but within minutes, I'm back to my downy white fur. No hint of what took place in the last hour. I dress quickly, apply a bit more talc, then head back to my room. To further eradicate any proof, I collect the clothes that I was wearing along with the rest of the dirty laundry that's accumulated the past few days. With my arms full, I wander downstairs to the laundry room of the kitchen. I make no mind about separating whites and colors, just dumping everything into the washing machine and adding a cup of detergent. With a few adjustments to the settings, I start the machine and let it do its work. My stomach growls, and the realization that I've only had toast dawns on me. I pop into the kitchen, scavenging for food. After a couple of slices of cold pizza, I head into the TV room and sprawl out across the sofa. I thumb the power button of my phone, bringing it to life. Several messages line the screen. From Jason, have you sent the keys back yet? From Stephan, return the keys to my friend. He kept sniffing at me. I think he knows what we did. From Ma, Corey, I'm running a bit late. I'm planning on visiting your father's grave this afternoon. Would you go with me? I unlock my phone and set about responding in turn. To Jason, not yet. I'll send them out priority tomorrow. To Stephan, You realize that we've just increased the value of the property, right? To Ma, sure, just let me know when to be ready. I yawn, then roll onto my side and rub my nose, eyes dipping shut. Are you ready now? I scramble to sitting, rub my eyes, then bark back. Give me a second. I slug my coffee, then cup my hand and breathe into it. Luckily, the tank of musk and semen isn't present. I dart into the kitchen, setting my mug in the sink and filling it with water. The rhythmic thumping of the washing machine lets me know that it's still running, so I join my mother and quickly slip on my shoes and cardigan. We head out to her car, and as we both pop the doors, she looks at me over the roof. Mind the flowers? I take a seat, making sure not to crush my tail, or the calla lilies. My focus blurs as I gaze out the window, mind wandering as the houses fly by. Moments of time spent with my father flood my brain, helping the both of them in the garden, learning how to light a charcoal grill, sips of my dad's gin and tonics. Just little moments, things that I haven't thought about for years. Not since I was last home. My father is laid to rest at Thornwood Cemetery. Further down the street is the Bible camp my parents first worked at when we moved to Alder Falls. In this same camp, I wandered off once as a kid. Hours later, I reappeared blowing bubbles with my gum. This was strange because I didn't know how to blow bubbles before I disappeared, and also because I didn't have the gum when last seen. When my father asked where I learned how to do it, I simply answered, Jesus taught me. I don't remember any of this, but it's a favorite story of my mother's. A tightness builds in my chest as the memories flash forward in time. My father's gaunt form in his hospital bed, multiple IVs, a feeding tube. The hazy look in his eyes, and the slight smile around plastic as he finally recognized his family. Evan and Caleb watching from the doorway, too young and scared to understand what was going on, or maybe just not wanting to think about what was happening to Dad. I was holding his hand when it happened. He gave it the faintest squeeze, and then he was gone. Corey? I hadn't even noticed that we'd pulled into the cemetery and were parked within walking distance of his plot. Huh? Oh, I didn't know we were here already. I undo the seatbelt and we exit the car, heading right to my father's grave. We stand there for a moment in respectful silence. Ma crouches, brushing leaves away from his headstone. Her fingers dip along the grooves cut into the stone. Only as I hand her the lilies do I realize the significance of the day. Her hand fumbles with the bouquet as she removes them from their plastic packaging. I move to stand beside her, hand resting on her shoulder. As she nestles the flowers gently on top the marble gravestone, I'm struck for a second time, this day by the contrast of the white to black. My fingers tighten on her shoulder, reassuring her that I'm here, and she looks up with damp eyes. We're both silent, and though I'm no longer religious, I repeat the epitaph on his grave several times in my head before quietly saying it out loud, like a prayer. May laughter and love find you. And also you. Words that we could both stand to follow. She stands and we hug each other tightly. The vibration of the phone in my pocket causes me to jump, and Bay Area instinct kicks in. As we break free, I fish out my phone to check it. There is a single text from Jason. Call me now. The tightness in my chest has returned. It must be visible because concern spreads across my mother's face. Is everything all right? I shake my head. Sorry, it's Jason. He wants me to call him. Though I haven't given her all the details of our split, she gives a disappointed grunt, tail shaking behind her. It's not really my business, but if you want to bury the past, we're in the right place. She turns back to my father's grave. Go ahead and call him. I think that I'd like to talk with your father alone for a bit. I'm sorry. I'll be back as soon as I can. I unlock the phone, heading into my contacts, and tap the call icon under Jason's name. I bring my phone to my ear and wander away, allowing both conversations to happen in private. My eyes lose focus and wander as I weave between gravestones. The trees are mostly bare at this point in the season. What leaves do remain cling desperately to nude branches, browned and twisting in the wind. I pass a gaudy obelisk, duck behind it, then lean back against the cool stone. It's only after the 7th ring that Jason picks up, and, as he asks me to call, I'm not about to greet him. His voice is terse. Good, I didn't think that you would call. This isn't actually the best time, but I'm making the best of efforts to accommodate your request. If you're sending the keys tomorrow, overnight them. Is that all you wanted? This phone call could have been a text. No, not all. I've collected the last of your things and need your address. Again. You could have texted or emailed. I'm at my father's grave, for fuck's sake. We need to talk. We are. What else do you want from me? I thought that everything was fine. I gave you 2 years. I don't know when things started to fall apart, but a warning would have been nice. Instead, when the first opportunity to just let me go came along, you did. As a cat, I'm sure that he's about to hiss and spit his response. I can hear the hair at the back of his neck bristling. Corey, if you would only ever listen, that's the real problem here. You don't listen at all. Everything has to be perfect for you. Everyone has to act how you want. There's no compromise when it comes to that. What the hell does that even mean? He sighs, and I can hear the anger ebb from his voice. That's what I'm trying to explain. You have so much charisma. It's what gave you an edge in our relationship. The amount of control that you needed to have was suffocating. I didn't really notice it at first, but as time went on, that little ways that you would manipulate things became apparent. I only really figured it out when you kept moving my shampoo in the shower. What are you even talking about? Do you want examples? You started to control every little thing in the house. I come home one day to find the apartment completely changed. You had redecorated without asking and shoved a ton of my stuff in a closet. You also kept throwing away food, not because it was bad, but because you didn't want to tempt you as you were working with that personal trainer on your perfect squat. God, when you joined that shitty company and moved in, I was hoping that what? That I would lose my job? That you'd be able to just wash your hands of me? Jason, if that's what you want, then why do you keep contacting me? I'm not coming back. You don't need the keys. Whatever I left is obviously not that important. Anything that I wanted, I moved to storage. So if this is as god-awful and painful as you're making it sound, if I'm the one who was manipulative, then why the fuck are we talking? Because I need to. If I can't tell you what happened, then I don't know how I can move on, and I don't know if you'll be able to learn. I mean, you know that I never even gave you those keys, right? You saw them on the counter and just took them with you one day. I slide down the pillar of granite into a crouch, tail surprisingly still after he delivers that last line. Fine then, I'm listening. I won't interrupt again. Say what you need to. I think that things started to fall apart at our 1-year anniversary. Even though you knew that I wanted to celebrate privately, you turned it into this big affair, a spectacle for everyone dining at the restaurant. Even though I was embarrassed, I played along, acting surprised when the violinist came to serenade us. Pleased as you ordered the most expensive things on the menu. I would have been happy just staying in, ordering Chinese and watching a movie curled up with you. You made this grand announcement of joining a new company as a vice president of operations, and that let me know that you plan to move in. Do you remember my surprise? It wasn't because I was excited. I mean, I was at the time. But you didn't really give me a choice. You didn't ask if you could move in. You just declared it. It was nice at first, but as you became more comfortable in my space, took over the things that I found comfort in, it was stifling. I felt like I had nowhere to hide, even in my own home. I'm not gonna lie, as things ramped up and you began spending more time at work, I was happy. As your time at the office each day grew, I felt relief in suggesting that you take over the second bedroom so that we wouldn't interrupt each other's sleep. I didn't know how to escape. That's why I became so distant. As far as I'm concerned, our relationship ended long ago. When you were let go, it just gave me an easy excuse to retreat. I'm not sorry for how it happened. I'm not sorry that I've gained my freedom again, and I can only hope that you're able to move on and grow. Whoever you end up with, Corey, don't smother them. Silence hangs on the line. I take a deep breath. Is there anything else that you want to say? His answer is almost meek. I can tell that he's expecting me to yell again. No, that's all. I'll overnight the keys to you tomorrow, Jason. Goodbye. It takes him a moment to answer. Goodbye. There is a finality to it. As soon as I click the end button, I'm sure that I'll never hear from him again. I shove the phone into my pocket and then bury my face in my hands. I take several deep breaths, trying to comprehend what the fuck just happened, but end up choking on my own spit. I begin to sob, shoulders heaving as tears wet the palms of my hands. I smothered him? Didn't respect his wishes? I was just trying to be romantic. I tried so hard to make him happy and only made him miserable. Did I not listen? Should I have done things differently? What could I have changed? My mind is racing, flashing between anger and pain, sadness and frustration. Jesus Christ, was I really so awful? The phone conversation plays over and over in my head, Jason's words chipping away at the facade of a relationship that I had kept in my head. A low moan escapes me and the tears come harder, matting the fur in my muzzle. And then I remember this morning. Am I doing the same thing to Stephan? Is what happened at the abandoned house a result of me piecing together a situation so only I would benefit from it? I can't handle it. I can't think about it right now. I need to take the things in turn and figure them out. At least now I have closure with Jason. My breathing steadies and somehow I manage to stop crying. I dry my hands on my knees, feeling very much like a kid as I do. I sniff a few times, realizing that the chill in the air along with the outburst of tears has caused my nose to run. I wipe it against the back of my hand, leaving a smear of thin snot through the fur. God, I feel like a wreck. Rather than wipe that on my pants, I drag my hands across the grass in front of me. It'll have to do for now. I'll wash my hands when I get home. Reluctantly I stand, head lowered and ears turned back, as I once more weave my way between the gravestones to where my mother is waiting, arms hugging herself and tail held high and tight behind her. She turns her head my way as I approach. The peace on her face turns to pity as she sees me. And there, at my father's grave, she wraps me in the most protective hug. May laughter and love find you. That simple repetition of the words on my father's grave brings a fresh wave of tears. She holds tight as I cry, my hands balling into fists around the fabric of the parka that she's wearing. It takes several minutes for me to once again regain composure. When I finally do, my arms drop and she slowly releases me. Her fingers lift my chin and her eyes meet mine. Want to go home? I simply nod, and we make our way back to the car. I open the door, climb in, buckle my belt, and then immediately don a slouch. I haven't adjusted my tail, so I'm uncomfortable, but it's only a few minutes drive, so I don't really care. My mother starts the engine, then slowly rolls through the cemetery towards the exit. You want to talk about it? My silence is all the answer she needs. I feel a headache coming on, and all I want to do is sleep. My eyes dip shut, and I somehow manage to rasp. Am I manipulative? She mulls that over, obviously carefully deciding how to answer. I don't think so. But you sometimes have a way of getting what you want. What do you mean? The corners of her mouth pull into a smile and she gives a little laugh. When you were 11, all you wanted for Christmas was one of those PlayStations. Your father and I had already gotten one for you. We had it on layaway. We could have paid for it up front, but I knew that if it were in the house, you'd find it. You saved up your allowance for weeks, and sometimes in November, you ended up buying a game. I remember you saying that you got it so that you could play it at a friend's house, but the only thing that you asked for that year was the game console. It was kind of like you were gently urging it to happen. I know for a fact that you still believed in Santa when you casually left the game in view of the milk and cookies that you left out. Just as a reminder of what you wanted. It was pretty cute. You remember that? My chin hits my chest, and though I knew that she was trying to cheer me up with this story from my past, it has only made things Jason said on the phone more real. I do. It's true. It's absolutely true. I am manipulative. We arrive home a few minutes later, and I'm unbuckling before the car has even come to a full stop. I pop the door and climb out, a cramp having settled into my lower back from how I was sitting. Great, just added to the full-blown headache that I have now. I'm gonna toss my laundry into the dryer and then take a nap. Okay, honey. She unlocks the door and heads in. I follow on her heels, reaching down to remove my shoes before slipping off my cardigan and hanging it on the coat rack. My tail is limp, dragging behind me as I head to my room. I make a brief stop in the kitchen, collect a glass of water, then head to the second floor. In the bathroom, I struggle with the lid of the ibuprofen. When I finally get it open, I shake 4 into my palm, pop them in my mouth, and then take a long drink from the glass. I wet my hands, thumbing the crusted snot out of my fur before splashing water onto my face and rubbing my eyes till I see spots. Once in my room, I lock the door, the glass of water deposited on my nightstand, my phone plugged in to charge. I don't bother checking for messages. I just want to sleep. I'm so tired. I strip then climb into bed, taking comfort in the way that it smells. It smells like me. My eyes shut, and I breathe. Then Stephan's last message appears against the inside of my eyelids. I smell very much like you at the moment. My bottom lip trembles and I begin to cry again. It's quiet and consuming, and that's because Jason's voice is repeating one line to me over and over in my head. Whoever you end up with, Corey, don't smother them. I don't know how I manage, but somehow I fall asleep. Chapter 5. Soleil sur un paysage? I'm pretty sure I said that wrong. Hours have passed by the time that I wake up. There is no noise at all in the house. I'm hungry, but don't want to leave the room. I wipe the sleep from my eyes, then roll over and look at the clock. It's almost midnight. I take a sip of the water before reaching under the bed and grabbing my phone. There are half a dozen new messages from Stephan, so I power up my phone to read through them. Sorry, had fallen asleep. We'll see you tomorrow. Heading your way. Be there in 15. Just wanted to say that I had a great time this afternoon. I know that was probably a bit more than you expected for a second date, but I enjoyed it a lot. I know you mentioned going back to the Carney mansion for date 3, but I think that I may need to give my friend a bit of time before I ask for those keys again. What do you want to do for a third date? Anything that you've missed since you've been away? Would you like to get dinner tonight? Everything okay? Corey? Oh, Stephan. Though it's late, I feel like I should send something his way, so my thumbs begin to wander over the keyboard. Hey, sorry about the late reply. I had completely forgotten what today was, and I ended up visiting my father's grave with my ma. I had a phone call with Jason too. Didn't go very well. Obviously too late for dinner. Sorry about that. I'll think of something to do for the next date. I hit send, then abandoned the phone on my pillow. I took a deep breath through my nose, tail coming to life and doing its best to give a few lazy shakes beneath the comforter. I peel back the blankets and sheets, then shiver as cold air washes over my body. Once free, my tail comes to life and starts flicking like crazy. To rein it under control, I reach back, snag it, and then curl it around my body, hugging it tight. The screen of my phone lights up as it vibrates. I grab it, reading Stephan's message. You want to talk about it? It takes me a few minutes, mulling over whether I do want to talk about it. Can I call you? The phone immediately begins to ring. I clear my throat, then answer. Hey. Hey. A heavy silence hangs on the line. Rough day? His voice sounds slurred. To answer your text. No, you're fine. Everything was great. I forgot what today was. It hadn't even crossed my mind. Please don't think that you've done anything wrong. He sighs in relief. Good. I'm glad. God damn it. Have you been drinking? There's another long pause before he answers. A little bit. I thought that I'd fucked up. Don't smother them. I push the words out of my head. Please don't think that. I had a great time. You didn't do anything wrong, and I'm sorry that you felt that way. It's just when I got home, I ended up curling up in bed and passing out and... Shh. You're too pretty to worry like this. You are drunk. He gives a raucous laugh. I had a bit, yes. But I still have my wits about me. I wish that I was drunk. Got an open bottle of whiskey. And that'll put hair on your chest. Have plenty there already. But it could also mean that you end up in my arms tonight. As nice as that sounds, I don't have a car. I don't know that I trust myself not to cry again. I don't know if it would be... No, it wouldn't be appropriate to just disappear in the night, even if I left a note. I'd like that, but we should probably just keep tonight to the phone. Can't blame me for trying, can ya? Not at all, Stephan. My eyes wander to the clock and I see one approaching. We should get some rest. I'll send a message in the morning. Okay, boss. Thanks for chatting with me. What are you sleeping in? The bucktooth grin spreads across my face. Nothing. He whistles. Make sure to drink a big glass of water. You don't want to wake up with a headache. He laughs at my matronly advice. I will. Good night, Doug. And then he hangs up. My heart drops, and though I was sure that I'd be able to get back to sleep quickly, I don't know if it will be so easy now. The screen on my phone goes dim, and as I'm about to thumb the power button, Jason's words echo through my head. Don't smother them. I roll onto my stomach, bury my face in the pillow, and just shout. It's not for long. I don't want to accidentally wake anyone. I use my heel to snag the comforter and crawl back beneath the covers. I take several breaths, trying to rid myself of any emotion at all. The last 24 hours have been such a roller coaster that I can't even handle what just happened. My eyes begin to water, so I clench them shut tight, fresh tears wetting my cheeks. No, not again. I'll figure it out tomorrow. I pull the comforter almost completely over me, making a nest. At some point, my brain slows down and I'm able to get to sleep once more. Wooden floors. Some sort of auditorium? A ballroom? I look around, blink a few times, then somehow know that I'm in the Carney mansion. My ears perk and swivel back as I hear footsteps behind me. My legs feel like lead, and as I somehow manage to shift and turn, the wooden slants of the floor seem to distort and shift under me, tearing at their seams. The golden light streams from between these cracks, causing me to shield my eyes. As long as I'm not moving, the floor seems to be keeping in one piece. I've been completely distracted, my ears turned quickly, scanning the room, but there is no longer the sound of footsteps approaching. I relax a bit, then look back towards the floor, curious what was creating the light below. It's at that point that the smell of him hits me, the mix of salt spray, tobacco, amber, masculinity. Once I recognize his scent, I can feel the weight of his hands on my hip, breath at the back of my neck. Though I want to turn and look behind me, I'm afraid that he won't be there. He drags his muzzle up, noses the back of my ear, then whispers something. I can't hear him at all. When I do turn to look back, there is nothing. I close my eyes, take a long, deep breath, then open them. The light is cold and gray, morning light, no longer golden. Why am I lying down? I shift, slowly sitting up, and realize that I'm still in my bed. A dream. The sun must just be up. It's only 7:30. Though I do my best not to think about yesterday, random moments keep creeping back to jab at me. My stomach makes a rather perturbed noise. I didn't eat particularly well or much yesterday. Food is one thing that I can do without thinking. Tossing the covers back, I breeze out of bed. A hodgepodge of clothing is thrown on before unlocking the bedroom door. My head does a quick back and forth. I don't know why I always exit the bedroom like I'm sneaking out. A habit from when I was a kid, I guess. Seems like one of the twins is in the bathroom. I'll just have to use the one downstairs. I stuff my hands into the pockets of the hoodie that I'm wearing and head down. When I finish my business, I give my hands a quick wash and pat dry, then sneak into the kitchen. Caleb's shoveling a bowl of oats into his muzzle as fast as he can. My mother is watching on in disgust, and I pause in the doorway staring at him as his cheeks begin to puff up. Dude. They both look over at me, Ma giving a warm, understanding smile and Caleb grinning until oatmeal dribbles down his chin and he yelps. After he smears the oatmeal across his chin, he snags a glass of milk, swallows a bit, then looks at me. You slept so much. It wasn't that long, Caleb. Evan wanders in, knuckling water out of his ear before getting a wet bowl and serving himself a much more modest portion of oats. I guess I needed it. Didn't think that there would be any kind of jet lag, seeing as it was only a 2-hour time difference, but I guess I was wrong. There enough for me to have some? I point at the pot of oatmeal on the stove. Absolutely. She retrieves a bowl from the cabinet for me, then places it next to the stove along with a spoon. Help yourself. I step on up and serve myself, taking a quick bite to see if there's any need for further seasoning. There is the creamy richness of the butter, a dark sweetness from the maple, as well as a gentle heat of cinnamon. The only thing that I add is a further splash of milk over the top. It draws an exaggerated ew out of Caleb, and I look over, jabbing my spoon at his bowl, then in turn at his glass of milk. It's the same thing. He laughs, red tail dancing around behind him. I'm just messing with you. Okay, guys, you need to finish up quick. I need to get you to school. Ma straightens herself up, then bustles towards the foyer. She pauses, glancing over her shoulder at me. I tossed your clothes in the dryer. Run it on gentle as you didn't separate. Should be done in a little while. Caleb is bouncing after her a moment later. Evan has finished his breakfast but lingers long enough to rinse his bowl. As he's loading both his and his brother's dishes into the dishwasher, he turns to me. I heard shouting last night. I know you're a lot older than I am, but I just wanted to let you know that if you need someone to talk to, who isn't Mom, I'm here. I reach over and muss his hair. Thanks, Sev. That means a lot. I take a bite of the oatmeal, then give him a little flick of my muzzle. Likewise, if there's anything that you ever want to talk about, let me know. That gets a grin out of him, and he nods before running off to finish getting ready for school. There is an assortment of shouts, terse scolding from Ma, and other noises as Caleb and Evan are finally ushered out of the house. With only the sound of the dryer to keep me company, I shift over to the counter where Ma has the morning paper spread out. I flick through the pages idly as I eat. Small town news. There's nothing really of particular note, so I find the want ads and start thumbing through it till I find the employment. I run my fingers slowly down the listing. Lots of trucking positions, also lots of nursing and healthcare. That makes a lot of sense. Most young people tend to flee the Midwest when they have the chance. Average age for most towns is definitely not getting younger, but maybe I'm just biased. I ran when I had the chance. Everything said, if I do end up staying here, I will need to get a job sooner or later. I've got a pretty decent nest egg in the bank, but it won't last forever. Once finished with breakfast, I rinse my bowl and toss it into the dishwasher. There's not much room left in the machine, so I go ahead and add some detergent and get the cycle running. The digital display on the oven reads 8:15. It's early, that's good. What do I need to do today? I grab a piece of paper from the pad on the fridge and then scribble down a few things. Post office, send keys back, current address. Doug? Keep breathing. Water heater? That should keep me busy for at least the morning. I stretch, then pick up the list before heading upstairs to my room. With a bit of digging, I found something to wear. As I lay everything out in the bed, I realized just how plain I tend to dress. The only thing that stands out from the outfit that I plan to wear is the cardigan hanging in the hallway. I think Jason got it for me. There's no time to think about that now, though. Based on my conversation with him yesterday, I should leave things well enough alone. My shower is brief. I spare enough time to wash what may have lingered from my tryst with Stephan yesterday. Good night, Doug. Ugh, I still haven't figured out what to say. I don't want to make a huge deal out of nothing, but my name is very much not Doug. I suppose the best thing to do will be direct. We don't know each other, and beating around the bush is going to do us no good in this situation. Best to just nip it in the bud. I'm feeling pretty good after toweling off and spending a good time with the hair dryer, definitely much warmer. After finishing up my AM bathroom ritual, I get dressed. My phone is still charging, so I collect it, glancing at the screen briefly as it flashes on when unplugged from the power. No new messages. Good. I'm not quite ready to talk to anyone. I head downstairs, take a seat at the staircase, and grab my shoes. It only takes a moment to put them on and draw the Velcro straps loosely across the tops. I don't know if I'll need more than a sweater, so I pop the front door, sticking my muzzle out into the bright morning light. The air is crisp, the smell of damp leaves hangs heavy, and there doesn't seem to be much wind. I shouldn't need my jacket. The last thing that I do before leaving the house is pull my wallet and keys free from the pocket in my leather jacket. Each is stuffed rather unceremoniously in the pockets of my jeans, and then I lock up and make my way to the post office. The post office isn't that much further from my mom's house than the coffee shop. It's just the opposite direction, well within walking distance. Alder Falls isn't really that small, but it's certainly nowhere near the size of San Francisco. I fish my phone from the pocket of my jeans, deciding that the walk is about the right time to initiate the Doug conversation. I remember item 3 from the list. Keep breathing and take that advice. Once I'm sure that I have my wits about me, I power on my device, unlock it, and then head into messages. We'll start slow. My thumbs get to work. Morning, Stephan. Hope that you're not too hungover. I click send, wait for a moment before following up with, last night before you hung up, you called me Doug. Is there someone else that I should know about? I slip the phone back into my pocket and look up, paying attention to where I'm going. Not wearing my jacket means no particular place to put my hands, so I hook my thumbs into my pockets of my jeans and walk. My tail is pretty surly, and the few people that do pass by have to duck well to my side as they are passing so as not to be ambushed by the huge white thing. Surprisingly, the post office is fairly busy when I arrive. I stop at the counter where all the complimentary priority post envelopes and boxes are and pull my keys from my pocket. I use a nail to work the split key ring open, then start to wiggle the keys to my San Francisco apartment off the ring one by one. As I toss them into a flat rake envelope, my pocket vibrates. I slip my phone out of my pocket as it continues to vibrate. It's Stephan. He's calling. I don't know that I have the emotional fortitude to handle whatever the dog conversation is over the phone, so I silence the phone call and set it on the counter. Wanting to hurry this along, I reach for the nearest pen, flipping the ball chain back over my hand as I address the envelope. Part of me doesn't want to include the return address, only put my name. Or write it so illegibly that he wouldn't be able to figure it out, but that'll be spiteful, and it's obvious at this point that I just need to move on. So I tack on the address for where I am now, the address of where I grew up. Who knows how long I'll be there, but at least he'll have it if he really needs it. I peel the wax paper from the glue strip and seal the envelope, then walk to the nearest service station. An older bunny, Lily, according to her name tag, smiles at me as I hand her the package. Priority mail? If possible, I'd like to send it overnight. I smile in return, though it's not as genuine as hers. Thank you for your help. Absolutely, dear. She turns and punches a few things onto the touchscreen monitor of her computer, then motions to the credit card reader. Can you please answer the question on the display? It's the requisite, does your package contain any liquid, aerosol, perishables, etc., etc. I punch no on the base of the display, then fish my wallet from my back pocket. Lily purses her lips and punches a few more buttons on the screen before glancing at the envelope and then finishing up whatever data entry is required. Overnight to San Francisco will be $23.75. Do you need any stamps today? Oh, no thank you. Just need to get this on its way. I pat the envelope one last time. Very good then. If you could just slide your card now, we'll be all set. I go through the motions. Slide card. Wait. Signature. Click confirm. And then she's handing me my receipt. Thank you very much, Lily. As I'm leaving the post office, I thumb my phone to life. Aside from the missed call, there's one text. Please call. Rather than block the doorway, I exit the street before I respond. I apologize if it seems rude, but I don't know that I have the stomach to talk right now. Yesterday was really rough and I'd prefer to just text. I don't slide the phone back into my pocket. I just hold on as I start the walk home. It buzzes and I look, expecting a text response that he's trying to call again. My brow furrows deeply and I swipe it to send the call to voicemail. My pace picks up and my tail is flicking along behind me. My phone buzzes again. My eyes dip to the screen. I'm sorry, but Doug is not a text conversation. This stops me mid-stride and I just stare. My tail has started doing the crazy thing again and I can feel my ears flushing with heat. There is another guy. I wasn't supposed to find out. Great. I unlock the phone, then rapidly answer. Well, I don't want to hear about it. If you're fucking another guy, then great. Just great. We don't even know each other. He's immediately typing his response, so I wait, staring at the bouncing ellipses. I can't. I just honestly can't. That's right, we don't know each other. Please let me call. My answer is immediate and petulant. No. Again, the ellipses appear as he types out his response. I'm not going to push. I just want you to know that it's a very serious misunderstanding. My eyes flash over the message before noticing that he's typing another. It populates a second later. It sounds like you need to focus on your own self at the moment. I don't know if we'll talk again, but you know how to get a hold of me. My brow furrows and I can perfectly picture him with that sad smile on his face. Fuck you, I mutter under my breath. I get home quickly, then decide to distract myself by finding a plumber and getting Ma a new water heater. I'll just say that it's an early Christmas present. Somehow I am able to get someone around to take a look at the old unit and offer up advice for a new one. I'm hardly paying attention and end up buying quite an upgrade to the current model in the house, but it feels good to fish out the checkbook from my backpack and angrily scribble out the amount due. He takes off, letting me know that he'll be back in a few hours to replace the thing, and I grumble out my answer, barely thanking him as he leaves. I've been spending far too much time in bed, so I end up curled around a pillow on the sofa, just barely paying attention to what's on TV. Cartoons, I think. Everything feels wrong, like I'm stuck in a world shaded brown, gray, and black. Is this how things were really supposed to end with Jason? Was I too short with Stephan? Why didn't he want to talk about Doug, or rather, why did he want to talk about Doug over the phone? I read and reread the last message from Stephan before turning off my phone and tossing it aside. I don't even care right now. I know he's right. I need to focus on me, so that's what I'm gonna do. To be continued. Oh my god. Corey. You dumbass. Well, I mean, I can't fault him, I guess. But I feel like he's taking out the anger and maybe pain and resentment and everything else from the conversation with Jason out on Stephan, rather than going like, you know what, okay, fine, let's hear what you have to say. But no, he's just acting petulant. Anywho, honestly though, having somebody say that to you, saying that like, hey, you kind of were the problem in the relationship, not me, and you were kind of smothering, and I hope that the person that you end up with next time, you don't end up doing that to them. So that was kind of bad. I mean, it's not that it was bad, it's just it felt badly timed, I guess. I mean, if you were really over your ex and you were really wanting to get rid of them, just be free from them, you would think that, you know, you would be like, yeah, whatever, you know, just send me the key, whatever. I don't really care about you. I'm finally free from you, and not like, okay, guy, I need to have a conversation with you over the phone because I need to lay down some truth on you before I no longer have to do anything with you. Yeah, it might have been a little bit manipulative on them too. Surprise, it was 2-chapter update. You don't know how excited I've been to drop 2 chapters this time. It was a literal wiggler. I always wanted to thank you so much to those who are supporting me via Patreon. It really does help tremendously. Speaking of Patreon, it's shout out time to the folks who will be added to the end credits come next build. Thank you so much to our new apprentice bakers. And these are all the people. A very special thank you to our new assistant bakers, other people. And a huge heartfelt thank you to our new artisan baker. A lot has happened since the public release of Chapter 3 in April, from the continued genocide in Palestine, terrorizing of Ukraine, attacks on free speech in the US, and more. At the end of my last build, I called on you to go out and make art, to share your voices and be heard. It's more important than ever that you do so. If you have the luxury of privilege, please don't use it to be complacent. I'm sorry for soapboxing a little bit here at the end of the build, but the world doesn't have to be such a terrible place. We have the ability to make it better, so I challenge you to do that. Slava Ukraine, free Palestine. Love and appreciate you all. We'll see you all again in Chapter 6. You feel this? Anyways, what was I saying? But yeah, that felt a little bit manipulative on Jason's part. Sort of like a last parting stab at his ex-boyfriend, saying like, okay, bye. Oh, by the way, stab. You were a terrible boyfriend. You were very, very manipulative, and I felt horrible being around in my own apartment. So that it felt a little like he didn't really have to say that to him. whether or not he was manipulative, like, I hate to quote a Tyler Perry movie, but there is one where, I think it's The Diary of a Mad Black Woman, where this lady runs away from this abusive husband, and something happens to the husband and she has to take care of him because I guess they're still married or something. And somebody tells her, oh no, she kind of takes it out on him that he's disabled too. She almost drowns a guy, and somebody eventually tells her that, like, that as long as you're still sort of thinking about the person, ruminating about the person or whatever, they kind of still have a hold on you. Even if that person is like long gone and dead or whatever, they still have a hold of you because you just can't stop thinking about them. You can't stop thinking about what they're gonna say or what they think about you or whatever. And while most of Tyler Perry movies suck, at least that message is kind of true, where it's like, well, part of the message was like, you have to like, what was that word? You have to like forgive them, even if they don't deserve it, so that you can move on. But like, you don't really have to forgive them, I guess. But like at the same time, it's like, you don't have to keep thinking about them. Like, they're in your past. Why are you so dead set on calling Corey and making sure that he knows that he was the problem? But anyways, what are your thoughts? Do you think that Jason was in the right? Do you think that the way that Corey handled his conversation about Doug with Stephan, was it like right, or was he doing it in a moment of anger? Misplaced anger at that? Write it down in the comments, and thank you all for watching / listening. If you would like to play Le Tome yourself, you can do so by going down into the link in the description, which should have a direct link for the itch.io page where you can download and play the game yourself. If you would like to support the project, you can do so by going down into the other link, which should be for the Patreon, where you get earlier access to builds of Le Tome yourself. And yeah, you know, it helps support it. Makes all this nice little visual novel happen. They do have a Ko-fi, I guess. And of course, they do have a Discord, so if you want to join it, then do so. And if you would like to support the channel and help support me, you can become a channel member, which gives you earlier access to these videos as they're being scheduled. And you'll probably end up seeing this after it comes out, but like, if for some reason I decide to be mean to you guys, there is Soul Creek coming up, you know, channel member. If normal people, if you haven't seen it already, it's scheduled. If you already have, then ignore this. But yeah. Also, in case you can't do that, or you just don't want to do that, you can do it through Ko-fi too, because I have a Ko-fi also. You know, you could support me through Ko-fi. It doesn't get you earlier access, but like still, you know, it is appreciated. Also, I have a throne in case you are feeling overly generous, in case you're one of those suspiciously wealthy furries, or in case you're one of those frumpy little sugar daddies, you know. I can be a sugar baby. My 36-year-old ass can be a sugar baby if you want. No, not really. That's kind of weird. I mean, unless you have money. Do you have money? I won't do stuff for money, but like, I like money. Give me money. I'm just kidding. Anyways, but yeah. So I guess that's it for now, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.